So RFK Jr. dropped out of the race, suspended his campaign, and then he endorsed Donald Trump. He gave a press conference in which he explains himself, talks about how the Democrats did him wrong, did him dirty, and now he's going to support Donald Trump. And I was thinking, well, surely this is a good thing if you're a Trump supporter, because according to RFK Jr. himself, he said that his polling indicated that in battleground states, him electing to stay in the race and his name on the ballot would perhaps pull more votes from Donald Trump than it would Kamala Harris. Therefore, he didn't want to have a hand in helping Kamala Harris and the Democrats win, therefore suspending his campaign, and he's going to remove his name off the ballot in those battleground states. Now, this is his prerogative. They put in a lot of work to even get on the ballot. He accuses the Democrats of trying to stop him every step of the way. And what I found interesting is the Democratic committee put out the Harris campaign put out a statement, I believe soon after RFK Jr.'s press conference, saying that, basically calling him a nobody, calling him a fraud, that he was subverting democracy by trying to meddle in the Democratic primary, and just nothing nice. Basically also insinuating that all of his support was coming from Trump supporters. And I felt like that was a unforced error. Like, how they could have been more magnanimous. They could have been more gracious and been like, hey, congratulations on a campaign well run. We know that you have a lot of support from some great Americans who we hope will consider our campaign and can see or find the things that we do agree on, etc., and saying something like that. That's not what they did. They basically said, RFK is a fraud. His supporters are Trump supporters. Go take a hike. And I was like, man, I don't understand that. In addition, RFK Jr. is still a Kennedy. Okay, Kennedys are Democrats. They are Democrats who are my dad's age in their 70s, who remember John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy, and they're Democrats, and they're what I call legacy Democrats. They're conservatives. They're social conservatives. They just still vote for Democrats because they grew up in a time in which the Democrats were for, I don't know, if you're a minority, they are for civil rights, all these other things. All these things can be debated now in hindsight. However, fact is, they're Democrats for that reason. Gonna die a Democrat. But if they have a Kennedy come out and say, listen, you should vote this way instead. I know you're a Democrat, but if you really see yourself as somebody who liked Kennedy and had some loyalty to my dad, his brother, listen to me. And that could go. This election in certain states is going to be decided by thousands of votes. Not that much. So that could count in the large. We were talking about millions of votes. It may only be 10,000 be the difference. And lastly, his own family, Bobby Kennedy Jr., his own family, when he was running, they never supported him. They months ago put out press release and things saying we support Joe Biden, the Democratic Party. We don't support him in his campaign. And so that was that. That's got to sting a bit when you are running for this type of, a campaign and your family doesn't even support you. That's got to hurt. Then they responded to his press conference. And just like the Democratic Party or the Harris campaign, they did the same thing. They criticized him and called him a fraud, was saying that he was basically tarnishing his legacy, his family's legacy, his dad's legacy. I was like, what? Instead of being like, hey, we congratulate Bobby for his tenacity and his search for the truth and his convictions, and he inspired many people to do what they did and accomplish what they did. That's great. But now we hope that he will, support us. And no, you can just say, and we disagree with him, and let it be, right? But no, they basically said he was tarnishing his own father's legacy, and I was upset for him. So I can only imagine how he was feeling about it. But anyways, folks, that's what's going on. This just happened yesterday. RFK Jr. suspends his presidential campaign, endorses Trump, Harris campaign, and his own family come out, call him a fraud. What do you think? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, stay tuned, because Jamin's Daily, the best is yet to come.